Welcome back, everyone. Phoenix 3 here, and today I want to talk about the Gengar reveal. I have to say, this here was a pretty unexpected Pokemon to be revealed. I feel that, well, I pretty much already knew Gengar was going to be in the game. Gengar is kind of a Pokemon that you kind of can't exclude from something like this. And the reason I kind of say that is because, Gengar is a good representation of Gen 1. There are very few Pokemon that I consider representation of Gen 1. Like right off the top of my head, um, I would say Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu, Pidgeot, Rapidash, Sandslash, Mewtwo, Gengar. I kind of want to say the Evolutions and Dragonite and Mewtwo. Those kind of stick out at the top of my head as the most influential Pokemon of Gen 1. Like there's still a bunch of other ones as well, like the Hitmons, other fighting types like Machamp. But I say these are like the solid at the top of the list of Pokemon that people remember from the series from Gen 1. Because we've seen these guys in the anime, and to exclude Gengar from a fighting game is kind of bad because Gengar is a troll, and in Gengar's fighting style, I'm glad they captured that. Gengar fights the exact way that he should. Like, I feel the actual Pokemon games don't do Gengar justice in terms of playstyle. Gengar is just a fast, powerful Pokemon in the games, and that's simply not what Gengar is. Gengar is a troll. He's gonna mess with you the entire time because Gengar thinks he's having fun, and they captured that perfectly with Gengar, in my opinion. The one thing that I was kind of concerned about was how they would actually portray Mega Gengar. So I'm glad to see Mega Gengar is in the game. I just don't know how he's actually going to play since Mega Gengar is pretty much a shadow that protrudes from the ground. So I'm really looking forward to some gameplay about that. I've been, I kind of was putting this off for a little bit. I didn't want to make it as soon as I saw the reveal yesterday because I kind of wanted to get some more information about it and see how the community feels about it in general. And community is happy with this. There wasn't any bad backlash from this, except the new people who play Pokemon. They're mad that half the roster right now is Gen 1 Pokemon between Pikachu, Gengar, Machamp, and then Gen 2 Suicune. So most of the roster is, just old Pokemon. And I know I said it once before, and I'll say it again. I believe the roster is going to be heavy Gen 1, heavy Gen 2, because this is the um, this is the group of people that they're appealing to in this game that they're catering to. They still want little kids to play the game because it's still Pokemon after all. But they're making this game for the older Pokemon community. People that grew up in our generations and stuff like that. And these are Pokemon that we explicitly remember. Like Gengar might not be a favorite of mine. Like Gengar doesn't even make the top like 300 list on my favorite Pokemon. But Gengar was definitely in the top 10 pick for Pokemon from Gen 1 that would represent um, Gen 1 in Pokken Tournament. And I'm glad to see Gengar actually make the cut because Gengar, in my opinion, is pretty good. There are a lot of people that are still mad that there aren't more fighting types in the game, and I don't understand that. Like, why would they be mad that there aren't more fighting types in the game? Like, they just look at the fighting type and say, well, this is going to be exclusively fighting Pokemon. So they create these lists of nothing but fighting types, and that's simply not what Pokemon is about. It'd be the equivalent of putting nothing but fighting type Pokemon in Super Smash Brothers. Who would want that? Nobody would want that because all Pokemon fight. They all fight in their different ways, and I would love to see a Pokemon game cater to that play style of all Pokemon fighting. Like, I would not be opposed to a Pokemon game being heavy fighting types, but as long as it had battle types for other Pokemon as well. Like like I said before in another video, like sea battles, where you fight using fish Pokemon in aquatic environments, or even flying types where you play nothing but fighting types and they fight in the sky or in whatnot. That'd be pretty cool to see different types of Pokemon interacting in different environments. I don't think that's going to happen with this game because the support system. I pretty much feel the support system kills that idea just altogether. But going back to Gengar, I like the way they represent Gengar here. Like um, Gengar's skin, I guess, is what you can call it. Pretty much looks like a shadow. It's not like a solid mesh. Like the only solid part of it might be like its eyes and its teeth and tongue, but they pretty much made this Pokemon look just like a manifested like material for the most part. I don't even know how to describe it. Going back to the community, there was one overwhelming detail that kind of popped up, and I felt the same way about it too. I just wasn't sure how to say it without sounding like I was just like a complaining American. But I think this is the best way to say it. During the reveal, or the entire stream session, which was like an hour and some change, we got nothing new at all. No new information whatsoever. One thing that we did get to see was, besides Gengar, we got to see glimpses of two new arenas, and it's pretty much assumed that the camera guy is Magnemite. But, besides camera guy and environments, there are no new things in the game. Like, since the game came out, we all pretty much got rid of the whole idea that there were going to be any Pokemon locations from familiar games. They're seriously in a completely new area. So things like environments and stuff like that really don't matter to me in terms of someone looking for information about the game, as well as matter to anybody else. Because at the end of the day, you're going to get your oohs and ahs from the environments themselves by looking at how pretty they are. But, you know, environments are cosmetic. You can literally have every stage be a box with a different color in the background, and it won't do anything to change the actual fight because the fight is the one thing that's mattering. Your attention is on both the characters in the arena and fighting. The stages are to help bring life to the fight by bringing different shaders, different lighting effects, just different feels in general. But like a stage isn't something that people would care about in a reveal. They'd be like, "Oh, did you see that new stage that they showed?" And then people will forget about it later because they were like, "Hey, we wanted more Pokemon revealed." And that's kind of the problem here is that we waited a good while, like a month or some change. It might have been like 2 months or something, but we waited a good while for news, and it comes out that they have a stream and they're gonna show off some new stuff, and we're all like, cool, we get to see something else new. Last time they showed off something, they showed new stages and three new characters. That's a big deal. But here they just showed the exact same stuff, the exact same fights. We didn't see anything new in game. We didn't see anything, and then out of nowhere, Gengar reveal trailer. That's cool and all. Gengar is definitely in the top 10 Pokemon that I would have in Pokken Tournament from Gen 1. But that's it. The reveal, in my opinion, was very underwhelming. I was expecting to see something else. I was expecting to at least find out if Blaziken will be part of the game. And I know that they're trying to save some stuff for the final release of the game, but I feel the initial hype that you build for a game is really important. And I know I keep going back to Mortal Kombat when I say this, but I feel they did it right. They had weekly streams. Like if Bandai Namco were doing what NetherRealm Studios did with Mortal Kombat X, They could get away with showing Gengar in 1 week, and nobody would care. It's like, oh my goodness, they just showed off Gengar. Next week we can probably expect some gameplay of Gengar. That's what they did with Mortal Kombat when they showed off a new character in a reveal trailer or whatever. The very next week they did like an hour and a half stream session of that character. They showed you what the character did, the different variations of that character, and just pretty much how they fought. And if they showed a fatality, then they showed a fatality. But they showed something every single week. If it wasn't a character revealed, they gave hints to who might be in the game. They gave screenshots of environments. They did a lot of stuff. And this wouldn't be a problem if Pokken Tournament did the same thing. If they showed something new every single week. We don't have to have gameplay trailers. They could just post pictures of Pokemon in Twitter, and the community would just go into it and figure out what they're trying to do. But the only thing they showed technically of importance was Gengar. They didn't show any new support Pokemon. They didn't show any other characters. They just showed a 1 minute clip of Gengar fighting. It was appreciated. Nobody didn't like it. Everybody liked it. But the one thing people didn't like is they had to wait so long to to see just one thing. And especially in an hour live stream of the game, they're still showing information that we already know. Like it should get to a point to where they're not even showing off any of the 5 Pokemon that are already in the game, and they're just showing new content every single time. But the community should be like, hey, we want to see more gameplay of Suicune. We want to see more gameplay of Pikachu and Lucario. At this point right now, it's like, okay, well, we see Pikachu, we see Lucario, we see Suicune, we see Machamp, and the list kind of goes on. I was expecting to at least see a new character on the screen of the machines that they were playing on, but effectively the machines are the exact same. I mean, it can't be too hard to update these. I imagine they have Gengar semi completed, because if you do look at any of the other Pokemon stages, you see that they added more to the stages. Like in the Water Dome stage, they added Wailord to the background with Welmers following them. That wasn't something that was in the game. So they're obviously making more updates to the game, and it's going to be expected to see more stuff. Hell, even in the Avengers Age of Ultron trailer, if you look at the old trailers versus the new ones, you see they added new stuff to the trailers. But the thing is that they are adding and they are showing us new stuff. I feel since we waited so long for the next piece of information about Pokken Tournament, we would have got more than just Gengar. The way I feel about it personally is, what was the point in even having a live stream if you weren't going to show anything new? We got the community talking about it, and the community doesn't even know anything about it. The community still didn't know about the character vote roster. Like the community say on websites that I'm posting on. Um, let's see, because I believe I still have the website still open. Because I just kind of wanted to see if I could get some feels for it. Okay, anything that's not like disrespectful. I don't want to read, vulgar comments, but we got a lot of comments like saying the reveal was underwhelming, the live stream wasn't good, and we still got a bunch of people hoping that they're going to get their favorites into the game. But I mean, it's still way too early. But like, we have a lot of comments just like, we barely got a minute of Gengar and we can't see more. I'm happy but underwhelmed. That's kind of the way that I feel about it. It's like I'm happy Gengar's in the game, but I'm underwhelmed about the actual stream altogether. Like I'm wondering if actually I don't even know what I'm wondering anymore. Cause I had just thought about it, but it's off the top of my head. We have another comment here that's saying the only thing he's been seeing about the game was that it's Japan only and it's arcade only. And I know the game's not going to be arcade only because all fighting games pretty much in Japan starting arcades as the beta run for it. They want to see if they can build interest for the game. But the whole fact that I'm not the only one who is saying that the game is going to be Japan only makes me feel some kind of way about that, because people here are still saying, they were like, hold on, there was a character poll. Like, people didn't know there was a character poll, and this makes me think that the game is going to be Japan only for the most part in terms of final content and stuff like that. Like, obviously Gengar is popular here in the West, but Gengar is also popular in Japan. So it's trying to figure out, where exactly are they getting the information from? Because people are telling me, there's like, yeah, there was a poll, right? I can't find information on this poll anywhere online. Like, I've been looking for the last 2 days now, and I simply can't find anything. If somebody can give me a link or a screenshot of this supposed poll, that'd be appreciated, but I can't find anything. And we still have people wondering why they still haven't showed anything for Blaziken yet. I mean, I came up with theories about that, but I don't know. They could be saving Blaziken for the final release of the game, but I don't think it's. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, because if they have Blaziken finished, I would just go ahead and show them off. Maybe they're not trying to show off a lot of Pokemon with Megas, because at this point, a good amount of characters in the game so far have Megas. If we add Gengar, that's 3, so that's half the roster. I mean, it's still a pretty good number. You have to want to show off Megas, in my opinion. But that's basically some of the stuff that people are asking. They want to know the um if the only opinions that matter for the game are those of Japanese players, when we're going to see Blaziken, and just the how how unimpressed they are with the actual stream. And I feel these are pretty much um, valid concerns, in my opinion. The Gengar reveal, again, really good. I liked it, but I just didn't care for the stream. And I know they wanted to make an event out of it, and they should have, but I feel they should have focused more on Gengar and new content. Seeing glimpses of 2 new stages is always pretty cool. I think in a screenshot somewhere, or in one of the stages, I saw Zangoose somewhere in the background, but I couldn't tell because gang the quality of the stream was actually not that great. I would love to see Zangoose make it in as a playable character, but I mean, we really have no idea what's going on, because I don't know. I'm not seeing any information on character polls or anything like that. But basically, I just want to know you guys' opinion on any of this, really. The Gengar reveal, in my opinion, is cool. I thought they might have saved Gengar for the final version, because, I mean, Gengar is a Pokemon that people like, but it's not one people would actually care about to see in terms of an early reveal. Like, people would be more hyped for something like an Evolution. People would be more hyped for probably another legendary. But, I mean, Gengar is just one of the Pokemon that just didn't make my actual list of Pokemon that would be revealed this early. I knew it would be in the final game, but I didn't think it would be this early. We'll actually be seeing it. But I just want to know how you guys feel about the reveal. I want to know how you guys felt about the live stream in general, because I think the live stream is the most problematic part of the Gengar reveal. Is that they spent like an hour and 20 minutes, it seems like, just playing things we already know about the game versus showing new content. Like, we don't want to see more gameplay. It's nice to always have more gameplay, but we want to see new content, because this here is the point in the stage where they're selling the game to players like us. We want to see the new content. We want to find something to be emotionally invested in, and this here is a game that's going to really pull on people's heartstrings. I feel a lot. Like, the game, in my opinion, is going to be heavy Gen 1, Gen 2 characters, and we're going to have newer Pokemon in the game, obviously, to appeal to the newer generation, but that's not what this game is meant to do. So leave in the comments below your thoughts, your concerns, That's pretty much anything else, really. Like the video, subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be covering any new content that comes out for Poking Tournament. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching my videos, and I hope to see you all in the next one.